Welcome to Bunnyfish Crafts. I'm your host Heather, known as Bunnyfish on Ravelry and Plurk. Today is Monday, the 8th of April. I have Crazy Dog. And this is episode 22, Have You Been Infected? Grab some sticks and string and come sit with me. So clearly Molly misses Gabriel. He's up in his room for quiet time. And that's his blanket that she just pushed off of the couch. Anyway, I'm going to try to focus now. My week has been pretty good, except that Gabriel is 4.5 going on 14. He's been getting into things that he knows he's not allowed to get into. In one 24-hour period, he dumped out a bottle of nail polish onto a book and painted his nails, and poured out half of a container of laundry detergent, and was playing in my closet trying to get into my paints. And there was more. I can't even recall what happened in that 24-hour period because it was so much that I'm just trying to block it out. Other than that, spring is here, which is exciting. It's 70 out. I'm wearing a tank top, as you can see, no sleeves, because last week it was in the 30s and now it is 70. So I'm very warm. I don't like hot weather. If it could be like 50 to 65 all year, that would be my ideal, but can't always get what you want. So I'll settle for wearing a tank top. I think I've mentioned in passing that I'm going to the Zombie Apocalypse in June. It's hosted by the Stockinette Zombies. I'm going, and I got my ticket this week, so it's official. I'm flying there. It's going to be awesome. I'm so excited to meet a whole bunch of people in person. If you see me there, say hi. I have a few thank yous. I got wrapped this week. I got wrapped by Kelly of Sheep Dreamery. She has a podcast, and she also sells yarn. She's pretty local to me. She's from Cincinnati, but I don't know if she's actually from like actual Cincinnati or near Cincinnati, because on Flirk I have that I'm from Cincinnati, but I'm really like 10 miles south. But I'm pretty sure she's going to the Apocalypse, so I'm excited to see her there. She is. I know she is because she's vending there, and I'm really excited to see her yarn in person. But anyway, side tangent. She wrapped me the Dreambird KAL. It's a shawl by Nadita Swings. It's beautiful. We were talking about it, I think 2 weeks ago now, in the VKN, and it was one of those nights where everybody was throwing pattern links into the sidebar. In VKNs, you chat via video camera and microphone, but there's also a chat bar on the side, so over here on the screen. And we frequently crowded up with patterns and pretty things at Etsy, just things to look at. So that was one of the patterns, and I was like, that is beautiful. I don't even really make shawls, but I would make that shawl. So I put it on my wish list, and Kelly got it for me. So thank you, Kelly. I'm really excited. I'm not sure when I'm going to start it because I have one shawl off the needles, which I'll talk about, but I still have the other one for my mom that I need to finish by next month. So I'm really excited about the Dreambird shawl, though. I need to get into yarn and all of that. Lisa Mary Kay won on Ravelry, and Lisa Tomko won on Plurk. She wrapped me with It's Share Time by Jenna Mayer, the same person who did that headband that I was wearing last week. Yeah, definitely not a week for headbands right now. Although I'm considering putting my hair up in pigtails to get it off of my neck. Because because it's so hot. Anyway, they are really cool. They've got like a cable pattern that goes around here. So I'm really excited to make those. I'm kind of thinking I might use some Hippie Penguin yarn to make those, but not this month. I have enough on my plate this month. So I got wrapped these things and I want to cast them on right now, but not this month. Lisa also is adorable, and she's a designer. And after watching last week's podcast, she gifted me the Sean the Pickup Truck, which is her design, Extremely Originals. And I really want to make that right now for Gabriel because he would love it, but I can't make things right now. But I'm so excited that I have that pattern now. I also got some yarny goodness from Queen Ribbit. She is Becca, and she is one of the people that I VKN with. The dogs are playing by my foot, like on my foot. They're the ones moving my chair right now. I might have to put them up if they can't be normal, good animals. She sent me a package, and I'll show you that in a little while. One more thing, I started an enabling thread in the group. I get a lot of coupon codes and things in between podcasts. Like, it's good Tuesday through Friday sort of thing. And since I record on Monday, I can't tell you about it. So I made an enabling thread so that I can put up coupon codes for yarn shops, for patterns, for all sorts of good knitterly things that we all like to look at. You can feel free to post a code in there too. It doesn't have to be for your thing. Of course, if you're a designer or a dyer or a maker of project bags or whatever, feel free to throw your coupon code in the enabling thread. I'm going to keep the header current with I'm going to keep it updated and current so that you're not looking at expired codes. But yes, feel free to add your own. One thing about the enabling thread, there are 2 codes in there, but I'm going to say one right now because it's going to expire by the end of this week. So Hippie Penguin Fibers is having a 10% off discount for anything in her shop, even clearance stuff and pre-orders, with the code podcast, and that's good through Friday the 12th until 9 p.m. Indiana time, which I think is the same as my time, so that would be Eastern time. And in case you forgot, this is the Bunnyfish colorway that she did, the Bunnyfish Crafts colorway. See? Ooh, upside down. So if you are in love with this color like I am, look at how pretty that is. Oh, gorgeous. 10% off. Go check it out. Okay, now I'm done with the sales repping. On to the Mom's Day Craft Along. Still going on. If you finish anything for a mom, if you've finished it after February 25th or before May 13th, feel free to put it in the finished objects thread. It has to be Ravelry sanctioned. It has to be for a mom, and you have to be a member of the group. Please tag it with BPHMOM so I can just click on the tag and see all the cool things that people are working on, even if they're not finished yet. I did decide on prizes. I am going to give people the option, or person the option, I guess, unless there are a lot of entries, it's just going to be one prize. And I will give the person an option of a pair of socks knitted by me, or a $20 Indie Crafter gift card. So, you know, Etsy or Big Cartel or something like that, of your choice, or a $20 or less ebook from Ravelry. So I'm going to show you the yarns that you can choose from. If you win and you decide to go with the knitted sock option in my Victoria's Secret bag. I went there yesterday, needed new bras. I really, really hate bra shopping. Horrible, horrible experience. Anyway, not that yesterday was particularly horrible, just the whole, every time I go, it just, oh, I hate it. Hate shopping for new bras. So, Yarn Bee Walkaway in colorway Tango, I think. Let's see. I'll make like shorty, sporty type socks. And Premier Yarns Serenity Sock Weight, colorway Harlequin. Sensations Bamboo and You in the colorway pink red pattern. I don't think it's pink and red at all. I think it's pink and gray. Sensations Soul and More in purple, pink, gray soles. Soles and More. No mention of this blue color. This is the whole ball, but the ball band fell off. It's Lion Brand Sock Ease in the colorway Rock Candy. Oh, I think this is so pretty. But I don't have a particular project in mind, so you get to choose it if you would like. Science Monkey Mercantile Faraday in the colorway Texecuted. Yeah, or in Unexpected Success red number 2. Fleece Artist BFL Socks with no colorway. It's purple, it's not blue. So those are the options. I forgot one. This is Malabrigo Sock in the colorway Window Pane. This is some of the yarn that I got from Becca. It's enough to make a pair of socks. It's 110 grams, I think. She started, I weighed it when it got here. That's how I know. She started I think she said a traveling woman shawl with it, and she just didn't like it because it's not her colors, and it's not my colors either, as you can see. I think that looks really, really not good against my skin, so it's not really my colors, but maybe it'll be one of yours. It's an option in case you like it. So, let's talk about this. I finished my Graphic Infection shawl by Josh Ricks, and it is made in Nooch fiber. I'm actually going to show you the tag this week. I haven't done that in a while. Nooch fiber Midtown Sock in the colorway Stomping Grapes and Totally Goth. As you can see, I have quite a bit of yarn left over. I made the small size because I wanted quite a bit of yarn left over. I think that you will be seeing this in the near to mid future as a pair of Stitch Surfer socks. So I think they look so cool together. Oh, wait. Totally Goth is really much more purpley. So they're not that, they're similar, but they're not the same. It's a little more purple than that, so there's higher contrast. But anyway, I think these will look awesome in Stitch Surfer socks. And I love this yarn. Oh, it's so smushy and fantastic, and I'm glad that it's a shawl now. And I'm actually going to wear this shawl a lot. I foresee it being worn a lot this spring and summer. The Mystery Knit-Along was he designed it specifically for the Zombie Knitpocalypse, so I'm definitely going to be wearing it there. The pattern is, you can buy the pattern now, but the final version is not released unless that happened like today, because Josh needs to do a photo shoot with his finished shawl. But you can buy the pattern now. I'm not exactly sure how that works. It's $6. So It's fantastic. Let me stand up and show you how it looks worn handkerchief style. Can you see that? No, maybe? Back up a little. I didn't weave in ends. I do all of my end weaving in for the month at once. And I do it usually at the end of the month. So these ends will be woven in the end of this month. I'm going to make sure I'm not going to flash you as I take this off to show you. This is what it looks like. I love these yarns together. The colorways, I think they're absolutely gorgeous. Get in their ends. And I love the 4 different, how many are in there right now that you can see? The 4 different patterns. You can see them so much better from back here. So I'll just, I don't know. Can you see here? Chart 1, chart 2, chart 3, chart 4. So yes, that's the Graphic Confection by Josh Ricks. Go get it, go knit it. It's really, really fast and pretty fun. I'm not a lover of stockinette or garter for long periods of time. I just don't like doing the same thing over long rows. And obviously this has garter and stockinette rows in it. But the chart parts are really, really nice. And it's gorgeous and I love it, and you should all go, at least go check out the pattern, the projects that have been finished. I finished the other thing that I wanted to finish this week. Bum, bum, bum. This is where I was last week when I podcasted. So I did this. I knit an entire sock. These are the black thigh highs that I made for my sister. The pattern is Cinderella's Secret Stocking by Ruth Romanen. It is knit in Knit Picks Stroll in black, US size 2, 2.75 millimeter needles. I will put in a picture. So I finished those 2 things. What have I been working on? Last week you might recall that I had, what was it, a round and a half done on the socks for Josh. These are the Equinox socks. That's what I'm calling them because I'm making them for the Nerd Wars Equinox Challenge. So there you go. I'm going to put it on so you can see. This is called Pucker, and it's by Captain, wrong page, General Hog Buffer. General Hog Buffer. Pucker socks. These are fantastic. They look so tricky, but they're not. They're really, really easy. I've never done mosaic knitting before, which is what this is. And I think I'm going to make myself a pair of socks using mosaic knitting and that Fiber Nymph Inversible sock yarn. And I'm going to use the leftover black from my sister's thigh highs. I think those will be really, really cool. Again, near to mid-future, not casting that on anytime soon. Let's see, what am I not telling you about that project? Anything. Told you the pattern name and the designer. Not telling you yarn or needles. Fail. This is knit using Knit Picks Felici. Oh, I apparently can't today. Just can't. Knit Picks Felici in the colorway Aquarium, and Knit Picks Stroll in Midnight Heather. So pretty together, and so pretty on their own too. Did I tell you that I'm using a US size 1 2.25 millimeter needle? I don't think I did. Why am I so scattered? I should not be this scattered. Anyway, I also picked up and worked, I don't know, an inch on Amanda's blue thigh highs. My new rule is I have to work on these and do an inch every day. If I do an inch every day for the next 8 or so days, then I should be able to breeze through the rest and get them done by the 28th. All of the works in progress I have right now need to be done by the 28th. And a couple things that I still need to cast on. So I have to work on these for 1 inch every day. They're ribbing. It's my own pattern. I'm not going to pull it out of the bag, Serenity sock in the color indigo. Enjoy that reflection from my window. There you go. That's better. Premier Yarns. US size 2, 2.75 millimeter needles. I really like how they're working up. I'm just, ribbing is also like stockinette and garter. Just not in love with it. I need the rounds to change, the rows to change frequently. I cast on because I finished 2 things and I was like, maybe I should just be monogamous-ish. No, I cast on another pair of socks. And I did the first round. And that's what you get for this week. These will be, when they grow up, this and its partner will be the Mary Socks by Claire Ellen from the Fellowship of the Sock ebook. And I'm using Sock Ease, Lion Brand Sock Ease, in the colorway Taffy. These are for Steve, and I think this yarn is absolutely beautiful. It is taking a lot of willpower not to cast on all of the things and do all of the things because I really want to. I have not allowed myself to work on my sock yarn blanket in, it'll be 2 weeks on Wednesday because I have so many projects that need to be done, and the sock yarn blanket can be done whenever. But I'm thinking next month because my birthday is at the end of May. I'm thinking next month after I finish my mom's shawl, I'm going to focus on stuff for me, including my sock yarn blanket. I forgot I have a new little segment. It is the Marilee's Christmas Afghan segment. I finished a square. You might recognize this pattern. Why, yes, this is the Kiss Fist pattern by Shelby Shea that I did the charity squares out of last week that I showed you. I found that pattern through the Crochet Block a Month Crochet Along 2013 group. I don't know. I'm part of that, but I haven't been doing the squares. I think this was the February square. I haven't been doing the squares. So I was like, well, if I want that done for Marilee for Christmas, I better get working. I forgot last week that the designer, Shelby, is collecting squares in this pattern, which works up really, really fast. It's really easy. If you crochet and you have a little bit of time to make up a square, a 9-inch square, this is 12, but she's collecting 9-inch squares in washable stuff. I distracted myself, so I can't remember what I just told you. She's collecting them and she is putting them together to donate to a group who helps abused women with hearing issues, deaf or hearing impaired women. So if you have some time, crochet up a square and you can PM me or her for her address. I just think it's a really great cause. I'm all about anything that helps women though. So, and this is Marilee Square. Let me give you some data on this. This was US size I hook, which is 5.5 millimeter. I looked it up this week. And I used Caron 1 pound in definitely black and white. Those are definitely the color names. This purple color, I don't know what the name is. It's a dark purple. It's Caron 1 pound. In their 1 pound, it's usually like 3 shades of the color. So dark, medium, and light. So dark purple. Hopefully you'll be seeing 1 square a week in those colors for the rest of the year so I can get it done on time. On to my new thing. So you saw the blue yarn that I'm offering as a prize, which, by the way, Becca said it was okay that I could offer it as a prize because she didn't really want it. She got it in a swap or something. You know, it was just one of those things that someone threw in that she didn't ask for. And it's not really her colors. And it's not really my colors. These are my colors, and that hippie penguin skein are my colors. I'm more like a reddish and a green, or like this kind of blue. Those are the colors I gravitate toward. So she said I could offer it as a prize. I'm not just like, fail. Anyway, that was a lot of blabber. She sent me some yarn for my sock yarn blanket. She sent me a sock that she found while she was going through looking for scraps. So I'm going to frog it and knit it into probably 2 squares. This looks like 2 squares worth of yarn. I love that she sent me a sock that she didn't frog at first. I don't know why that makes me ridiculously happy, but it does make me ridiculously happy. I think because I'm giving purpose to something that wasn't going to have a purpose. I think that's probably it. That's where my brain goes. These are all one colorway. And then there's this, which is really, really purple. Not so much blue, but I think that anybody who has taken pictures to put on their Ravelry account knows that purple doesn't really show up that well. There are 2 different reddy colors. I really, really like this one. Uh-oh, I just dropped one. Oh well, I'll pick it up after the podcast. And then there's this solid green color and green and brown and this like oceany thing. I don't think that these 2 will be enough on their own to make a single square, but I don't mind. I stripe squares sometimes when they're not big enough, and I think that these 3 colors, like this looks really nice together and this looks really nice together, so that's probably how those squares will work. Look forward to seeing a lot of work done in May on that sock yarn blanket. Not like, 50 squares or something, but several squares, hopefully back to 7 squares a week. That's what I'm hoping for. We'll see what I decide to cast on for myself, though. We'll see. I am through all of the yarny stuff, I think. Looks like it, looking around on my desk. So I'm reading Insurgent by Veronica Roth, which it doesn't look like made it down here. It must be up by my laptop upstairs. I am more than halfway through it. I am finding that it's a little bit of a sophomore slump, which I find happens frequently in trilogies. It's good. It is really, really good, and I do only read it right before bed, and because I want it to last. I want the book to last. So I've only been reading it at night before bed, and I've been limiting myself to 2 chapters at a time because it's really, really good, except reading it at night before bed. And I've been limiting myself to 2 chapters at a time because it's really, really good, except a couple nights ago I think I read like 5 chapters, and I was like, it's almost 1:30. I need to go to sleep because Mara wakes up around 7. So then I read 1 more chapter. It's really good. It's not as good as the first one, but I think that happens a lot in second books of trilogies because the first one, there's just so much to find out. Like, you're learning the characters You're learning the world of the book. You're learning how things work. By the second one, it's not that the author repeats a lot, because she doesn't. It's not one of those things where the first 5 chapters are a summary of everything that you've already read. I really hate when authors do that, especially in long series. I hate that so much. I understand that you need to, have clues and reminders for your readers about things that have happened, but if I wanted a synopsis of the entire series, I would just read the backs of the books. Anyway, that's not a problem in this book. It's just, I already know the characters, so it's just all, I don't know. I don't know what my problem is, really. I think it's just because there's not as much discovery in the second book. The first book is all discovery. The second book is story, which is good. Action takes place in the second book, and in the third book, things get resolved. So the first and the third are always really, really exciting for me. And the second is less exciting. Still good. Still really good. Still definitely read it. Don't be put off by this summary. I hope it's not really off-putting. I just wanted to let you know that it's not as good as the first one, but I'm still really looking forward to reading it, and I'm still forcing myself to read it slowly because I want to gobble it all up, but the third book isn't out yet, I don't think, so trying to make it last as long as possible, which is why I picked up the Clash of Kings by is it George R.R. Martin? Is that right? I don't know. I forget. Anyway, it's the Game of Thrones book 2, and I read that in between reading Insurgent so that both books last longer. I'm not very far at all in A Clash of Kings. I am to like the second or third chapter. I actually started reading it when Game of Thrones season 2 started, which is that it appears so far from what I know that the seasons follow the books. Like season 1 was book 1, season 2 is book 2. So I started reading A Clash of Kings when season 2 started, and I just got mad at the show. I was like, whoa, that's not how it happened in the book. Like, there are some things that are just drastically different between the book and the show anyway. Like, all of the kids involved are much younger in the books. For instance, Dany is 12 when she gets married to Khal Drogo, instead of, she looks 16 to 18 in the show. Joffrey and Sansa are like the same age as Dany, basically. Like, they're all just kids in the book. So it was making me mad that, because those 4 years make a huge difference in maturity and motivation behind actions. I don't expect a 4-year-old and an 8-year-old to act the same way. I don't expect a 12-year-old and a 16-year-old to act the same way. But they were having these 16-year-old actors, or, I'm sure that some of them are in their 20s, but these actors who are portraying younger characters still acting like those younger characters, so they just seem immature and selfish and dumb. So I was like, okay, I can't read the book and watch the show, because I like the show. I think it's done well, but my understanding of the characters are totally different for the show and the book. I just have to compartmentalize them separately in my head. So anyway, I stopped reading the book so I could enjoy the show, and now I'm going to read the book a season behind. And season 3 started, so I let myself start book 2. Both books I'm reading are really, really good, and it's really hard not to just read. But I have so many things that I want to get done knitting-wise this month that I have to make sure that I'm getting an appropriate amount of knitting done. It doesn't feel like a chore. I would never make knitting feel like a chore, but I have to make sure that enough gets done during the day. So I'm reading a little bit less. It happens. It's also springtime, and I find that in springtime I read less than I do during winter and summer. I'm a very seasonal person. So speaking of seasons, my list this week is the 3 best things about spring that I feel are the best. The first is thunderstorms. We're actually supposed to have a thunderstorm right now, but as you can see by that shadow right there, it is not thunderstorming. It's not sunny, but it's not raining either. It rained overnight. I'm finding, much to my disappointment, that here in Kentucky, it rains overnight and not during the day. It doesn't rain during the day. Last year, I think it rained during the day like 3 or 4 times. I love dancing in the rain. And I'm talking like at night while I'm sleeping. Like after I've fallen asleep, it starts raining and it stops before I wake up. I love dancing in the rain. I love rain in general. We may have a cat visit. He's on my desk now, over here. Over here. Sniffing my yarn. Good thing Josh isn't allergic to cats. Don't let your mom touch your socks. Josh, that was for you. So it's really disappointing that it doesn't rain during the day here. In Michigan, it's like 6 weeks of rain almost every day. And I miss that. I miss that a lot. Maybe it'll be rainy over my birthday. It doesn't need to be rainy the whole time, but like a day of raininess. I would like a day of not raininess too, though, so we can go out and visit the parks. I love the parks in Michigan. Oh, yeah, we have a This is Ducky. Have you met Ducky before? I don't know. I know he visits in VKNs pretty frequently, but I don't know if he's actually been on the podcast anymore. This is my personal cat. We have lots of cats. We have 4. But this is the only one that is my cat. I brought him to the relationship. The other 3 came with Steve. Number 2, Ducky, don't knock things down, is the long hours of natural light. Knock things down is the long hours of natural light. That makes it so much easier to knit all the things that I want to knit. I have a harder time knitting when I have to have lights on. Even during the day, if I just have to throw on a lamp because it's a little bit darkish outside, it's harder for me to knit. Artificial light is hard on my eyes. So I like that I don't have to turn on lights until 8:30. That definitely is part of the reason why those thigh-highs got done like they did in the 2 huge chunks, because it finally got light outside. My third favorite thing is I'm a seasonal person. Some people aren't like me, but I like to do specific activities certain times of the year. I also like to eat specific things. So it's springtime, which means produce is amazing. Today for lunch, I made stir fry with broccoli, white onions, red potatoes, sugar snap peas, crab meat, lemon, carrots, garlic. I think that might be it. And I made a huge frying pan full. I made 5 servings. And they're all for me for the rest of the week for lunch. I do eat the same thing every day, but in cycles. Like, I'll eat the same thing every day for a week, and then switch it up the next week. I don't know why I eat like that. That's not how we ate when I was little, but that's how I like to eat. I change it up for dinner so that my kids don't get into my weird eating habits until they get older and can make that decision for themselves. So I am really excited about the produce that's going on. And I'm totally just rambling on now because Ducky has stolen about half of my attention. So we are going to say goodbye. Look at that face. Look at that face. He says, please don't. Please don't. He is not shy at all, but he doesn't like sticking his face in the camera. I hope you made something fantastic with your 6 string. Thank you for hanging out with me, and I hope to see you next week. Bye.